Hey there Pubsters, welcome back to the Apple Pub. My name is Emmanuel.
And I'm Raphael.
And today we're going to be giving our thoughts on WWDC 2015.
So yeah guys, we just finished up watching the conference this morning. Eman, why don't you let us know what some of your favorite parts about it were?
Oh gosh, okay. My main feature and the one I'm most excited about is the iPad split screen multitasking. That's something I've been waiting since the iPad Air 2, and Surface has had it for a while, so it's finally nice for Apple to up their tablet game.
Yeah, I think that's been pretty big on everyone's mind, like having some of that multitasking, be able to use it more complete.
Yes, and it's what I'm also. It wasn't just the split screen that they included. It was the having videos as a little floating widget that you could kind of mess around with.
True, I actually wasn't so sure about what that was supposed to be. Was it just for, I mean, they did it with ESPN when they showed us that feature. And I wonder if that's for any app that decides to use that in their API, or if it's just like for certain apps. Like I wonder if you could do that with like your notes, just to pull it off to the side just for a second and then bring it up again. Or...
Well, for sure it's going to work with any developer that has videos. Now, whether it's with other widgets or text or other things, that's up in the air.
Yeah, I guess that remains to be seen.
But they did have that slide over feature as well, where you just swipe over almost like a panel on the side of your screen, and you could kind of just quickly interact with, text messages.
No, it was scroll through and choose what type of app you want, whichever app you want to put in that place. And then when you actually want to link it in to become connected with the other app to use, you have to tap the left side of the bar, and they would both be up for use.
Yeah, I'm referring to when you just swipe over and you get all your text messages. You could write a quick reply and then swipe it off again. It wasn't really just it wasn't really split screen. It was just like, swipe off, So I thought that was cool too. I like the way they implemented it, where it was both real time. You could scroll through both apps.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's not like there's only one active and one inactive where you just view it. So I really love their execution. It was worth the wait. Long time coming, but still worth the wait in my opinion. So what about you? What did you think?
Honestly, I know you were big on like the iOS improvements and on the iPad and everything. For me, the biggest things had to just be OS 10, El Capitan. To me, the performance improvements, the stability, I have been waiting for so long. I'm on the 2012 MacBook Pro, the last one before the Retinas came out. That has been, like, I have not been able to update to Yosemite because, well, I didn't, it kind of slowed it down too much, so I went back, but I've been waiting for this for such a long time. I've been waiting to upgrade for a while now, so this is going to be great for me to be able to really get that performance boost, especially doing any of my video work on my computer and everything. It's going to show some really high-end performance for me.
Yeah, and I'm always for under-the-hood improvements, especially when they're throwing out numbers like 40 and 50% improvements.
Yeah,
things like that.
And the other big thing was with mission control. Oh my god, that's going to be like a godsend to me, especially being able to... I always have windows up everywhere. There's always minimize. I'm like, okay, where's this? I can't find that.
Yeah.
At least with mission control now, you can just pull it up and quickly I can just throw up stuff into like a full screen mode or split screen mode as well for, Mac OS 10. So that's going to be pretty awesome for me.
And I like how they named it after Yosemite. Kind of like how there was Snow Leopard to Leopard. There's El Capitan to Yosemite. It's kind of like, okay, here's the core we released, and now here's just the improvements.
Yeah.
And I just love that. So much culture, a lot of fun. Historical things, fun things, cultural things, riddled throughout the keynote. I always thought that was cool in the beginning with the little skit and the water bottle hanging and dramatic music.
We'll just run with it. We'll see what happens.
I feel sorry for whoever's gonna lead.
They better have something important to say.
Yeah. So no, it was really fun. They had a lot of fun with it. I really thought that was cool. Some parts seemed a little long-winded though. It's kind of like, do we really need 10 minutes just for this tiny improvement? In my opinion, like the Notes app, I know a lot of people use it, and I know those are good improvements. I appreciate them, but I don't think they should have taken up as much time on that.
Maybe, I don't know. I kind of found it cool because although it is like I said, emulating, Evernote, it's kind of cool the fact that you have this integration within the OS now. Because, as well as, even though Evernote is, connected with all your devices wherever you have Evernote, but now it's like built in right into the OS. And the Spotlight feature was really cool to me. I really love that as well. Being able to not only just search up like the specific words for files and stuff, but you could write it as a question, as if you were talking to Siri. You could say, oh, find me the pictures from last fall or something, their example, and it'll just pull up all your photos from the fall of last year.
Playing off that, I like that feature more in the sense of how they put it into Apple Music, where I could say play the top 10 songs in 1993, and bam, like, you know, it just takes me back in time, and I'm gonna instantly recognize the music because, you know, you always do with specific times earlier in the day, earlier when you were younger. But yeah, I like that. I think I'm gonna go through and kind of have a nostalgia trip after Apple Music is out.
So I'm guessing you're jumping right onto that 3-month free trial.
Not yet. I'm gonna wait out until I know I'm gonna use it a lot. Right now I'm just gonna sit out of it. I don't really see a point because I have iTunes Match, and you know, I'm gonna use that till the end of the year maybe, and then maybe switch over.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna jump right in because I'm not even using Spotify right now. Like I have my music, and that's usually what I listen to, or the radio in my car. But I think I'll try out thing. Well, I'll have to wait until it shows up on Android because I'm on the Android phone right now. Yeah, so but I'll be getting it in the fall, which is kind of cool. That was one of the other big things. I really wasn't expecting Apple to do that. I was trying to figure out how they're gonna release this music service to everyone because it'd be kind of
they took Beats, and Beats was available on all platforms. So I was kind of expecting it to be on not just Apple because they'll shoot themselves in the foot. If
I know, but I thought they would go mostly just for themselves to try to get people. Oh, you know, here's a reason to convert to Apple because we have this, and
they've been doing that a lot. Like with the Apple Watch, you need an iPhone and you need to get into the ecosystem. So I get that. But yeah, really excited. The music service was better than I expected.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting much. I thought it would be a Spotify rehash with a human curation element. But you know,
I really like the idea of that 24/7 radio show. That seems like it'd be great.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was kind of
especially, I don't know, I like to hear different songs, different places, different, you know, because they said they were supposed to be focusing on kind of the unknown artists and some new stuff that people haven't heard. So that seemed really cool to me.
I like it in the sense Zane Lowe's big. You know, he's a great interviewer. I know of some of his work before they got him into Apple Music. So I like the fact that I could kind of jump into what are people listening to in London or England, you know, versus LA versus New York. I like that aspect where it's kind of like a different taste. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a big radio guy, but I'll definitely check it out. I was more big on just the whole catalog, all the music out there, even the small, you know, no-names of the world right now who might be big. I like that you could go to someone who's less known, but also get, you know, their lyrics, their prototype songs.
Have that social connection with that.
Yeah, like things that aren't finished albums that you only get from Spotify, but things that are, you know, fun and, you know, kind of less than that, less ready for an official release.
Yeah, I kind of found that cool too, because originally I thought it'd be more like Ping, their social stuff, and I was like, okay, you know, that was done and it kind of sucked. I don't think I ever used it. Yeah. But this seems like a little more interesting because I thought they would have done their own service, but I like to hear the fact that they're kind of integrating it with Facebook and Twitter, so you have that other social network integration that, you know,
I think they did a good job of taking the music videos, the audios, the social element, and just combining it all into just one neat place and simplifying it. That's what Jimmy, I forgot what his name was, Ivine? That's what he emphasized was it's just a mess. If you like one artist, there are 10 different places you could go to get all the little things about them. Yeah. But now it's just like all right there. One thing I will mention was I thought Drake's appearance was the most pointless part of the keynote. I was just like, wait, he just spoke for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know what he spoke about. He just started talking. I don't know if he like forgot to mention something, but it seemed like at the end of his whole little speech, they're just, I didn't learn anything new. Yeah. he was like gonna talk about how it was to be a new artist, you know, getting into the industry and how it was for him and how like the new tech helped. But then he didn't actually ever explain how it helped.
Yeah, I guess it was just him saying he's excited about the thing and he's trying to get the cool crowd on with Apple. So yeah, it just kind of seemed, I guess it was lost on us because we're not the audience who it was targeted to. But yeah, that was random. I like the iOS 9 improvements. That was pretty good.
Again, like it was the same as with OS X. They had all those performance improvements, the efficiency improvements, the battery life. I thought that's pretty awesome to be able to tweak it so much. I mean, I know I've had a power saver feature on my phone for a long time. HTC's been doing this for a while, but and Apple has had that issue with battery life. It's like it's a great phone, but I have my friends have charges everywhere, and I just think this is awesome for you guys, like especially to have that big boost in battery life.
I don't know if I'm crazy about that because my understanding is it's going to be like airplane mode on crack.
Is it really?
I don't know how.
Okay, I know how it works on my phone. Is they lower the clock speeds on the CPU. Even when in full use, they kind of lower the haptic feedback, like it won't tap as much or vibrate as much, or like tones when you're typing or anything like that. It's little things that just kind of add up in the end. And I'm assuming Apple's always really good on their efficiency, so I'm assuming there's something else going on there in the background. There's no way it's going to be turning your phone into a full out no connection to anything.
Here's where I see the contention. Apple's, even with Apple Watch getting the power reserve feature, which I imagine this is more strict. It's like
because that's just supposed to be straight up. You just became a watch.
Yeah,
there is no feature like that where.
I hear you. This is like less restrictive. It just does things behind the scenes, maybe slowing down the CPU, things like that, like you mentioned. But Apple's always been about I shouldn't have to worry about the operating system and the battery life and all that. That's taken care of. It's simple to use.
Well, they already increased it by an hour already. Just
without
efficiency, just done. Nothing.
But the fact that a user would have to even know about a power reserve mode, I don't know. For me, it's like it's a bonus. I guess a lot of people would enjoy it. But Apple is usually the kind of company that says people shouldn't even have to worry about managing that.
True, but I think it could also, I don't know if it's going to be one of those where you run down to the end of your battery life and you're like, oh crap, I need my phone in like 2 hours. And this feature will, like you said, like super cut down everything and just gives you access to the bare minimum. Maybe it's something like that too. Just in emergency cases. I mean, that is still nice to have, even though it's like, oh, I only have 10% of battery, I'm out tonight, I need to be able to call someone instead of having to turn your phone off and turn it back on. Maybe that's just something to be able, all you get is a text message and phone calls, and that's it. Like just bare minimum. It might give you some extra 3 hours just on emergency sites. That's still a good feature to have, even though it's not something Apple wants you to worry about and stuff. But emergency situations, it's great to have.
And overall for me, like if I had to sum up my opinion, and I'm glad for the power reserve. That's not what it was called, but whatever it was, I'm glad. I guess people can use it. It's just I have a little personal contention with it, but I'll probably end up trying it out once and leaving it behind.
You never know. Yeah.
But overall, my experience, I'm just excited that the Apple finally slowed things down. Because with iOS 8 and 7, they just seemed very sloppy, rushed. You would see things that were with the UI that was just off center, the text popping out from the side. I don't know if most people noticed those things. Chris Pirillo, who's another tech blogger and vlogger, he noticed a lot of this stuff, and it was just sad to see Apple rushing things so much. And finally they went back, and I'm just gonna look forward to having iOS 8 as it was meant to be, smooth, fluid, not crashing, just the way it was meant to be from the beginning.
Yeah, and that's always been the big thing for me with Apple. That's the reason I got my MacBook. That's the reason I went with Apple computers. Is just that stability and like the efficiency. That's what I'm really looking forward to. For me, it's OS 10. For you, it's iOS 9.
Oh, I'll enjoy OS 10 like crazy too.
Oh yeah,
and I like how
especially on the Air that you have.
Like
the MacBook Air.
Yeah. Oh, another thing, the Windows management on Yosemite. I know you mentioned like you have tons of Windows open.
Yeah, organization.
I like how they kind of did the same thing with iOS and OS 10, where it wasn't so much about jamming a bunch of features in anymore, but just making things pleasant.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. I thought it was overall a good keynote. Not as I think a lot of people,
exciting as some years.
Yeah, not as exciting in the sense I think for a lot of people it may not have been. But I thought it started off slow and then it just
took off.
And then I think it kind of got slow again in the end before the Apple Music announcement.
Yeah,
kind of just got long-winded.
It was funny by the time it got to that. Yeah, because it went on for 2 hours this year.
Yeah,
it wasn't the normal hour,
usually it's like hour and a half. Yeah.
But yeah, so. For even being like normally I'm sure a lot of you out there are like, oh, it's the conference and you want to see all these new products and features pop out, and that's what gets people excited. But honestly, I think the both of us, we were just more excited for the stability and the efficiency. That's what we've been waiting for.
Believe me, I think everyone's gonna notice the under the hood improvements. Snow Leopard was a godsend, and I think El Capitan and iOS 9 is gonna be
I still have my old 2007 white clam little MacBook, the plastic ones, running on Snow Leopard, and is just going like a train. It has not slowed down. It turns on and off faster than the MacBook Pro I'm using now. It was such like a simple OS. I know there's a bunch of great features that came out now, but it just ran so much quicker, and I'm really glad to be getting that back.
Yeah, and another thing that we failed to mention, surprisingly, was WatchOS 2.
Oh yeah.
And that's a new thing. I think they finally made it official that it's WatchOS. Before it was called that, but it wasn't formatted that way. It's like one word, lowercase.
Yeah,
little things.
And I think that the bigger, most exciting thing was that the fact that it just launched, 6 weeks ago, or not even, and they're already updating the OS. It's like, I think they really are pushing to try to make the watch better.
Yeah, so of course it has under the hood improvements. I don't think they need to mention that. That kind of goes without saying. But complications, opening up the complications to third parties.
Yeah, a lot of third-party features coming out.
Big thing for me. Watch faces, I liked what they did with the watch faces. I wish they had complications with the new watch faces, the time-lapse ones. Beautiful, by the way.
Honestly, I kind of, to me, with watch faces, I'm more in the classic look of watches. I wish they would come out with more, designs just in that sense. But because I can tell you with the photos, if I pull it out like in the sunlight or something, especially if it's like a kind of white photo that comes up randomly, you're not really going to be able to see the time.
We'll see. We won't know until we try it. But like I just loved. I thought the time lapses were gorgeous. I would love to see in WatchOS 3. Opening up custom watch faces with developers making their own, because that's when you really get the true
creativity.
And right now it's kind of like, here's Apple's preset stuff, and that can only go so far to personalize it. So complications, watch face. What else was there? There's better Siri, I think, and
yeah, it was more integration. You had originally, I guess you only had 12 friends you could add to your friend list.
That was a big
now
one.
you have groups of friends you can add, because they were like, well, obviously you probably have more than 12 friends.
Yeah.
And they added colors to their digital touch thing that you could draw stuff to people.
Yeah.
They added
there was colors before, but I think they made more colors.
Yeah, they had the ability to reply to emails now as well, which I think is great.
That was a big thing for me. When I had my Apple Watch, I noticed that I could reply to text messages, but I couldn't reply to emails, which kind of seemed weird. It should have been there already. But yeah, like I was able to read them and leave them pretty much.
Yeah, and I think it's again that Siri proactive integration where they really want Siri to be able to, like, you're gonna be replying with Siri obviously when you're talking replying in emails. So it's this ability to have Siri connect with all of iOS's native apps as well as third-party apps. I think that's what they're really pushing for.
Apple's at a point where they've brought so many features and integration, and now they're just solidifying everything and deepening that integration and the way things work together. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I think they're on cloud 9, like soaring right now, and they're so far on features that now they're just making it work better together and better in itself.
Yeah, and like I had been talking to you once before, it's they're bringing all these features. Like, I mean, I've had access to things like this with Google now. But even with watching this, even though I'm on an Android phone, this gets me excited because it's something like, it's like Google Now, but it seems it's slightly more integrated and more secure, because none of your, data or anything, where with Google, I can't really be sure because Google is like an ad company. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what the data is going. I mean, I don't really do anything that I care to have go out and about, like when I have
but you still value your privacy.
Yeah, so I feel like with this, I just might be jumping back when iPhone 7 comes out, just to try it again, all these new features. So we'll see.
Yeah, and another thing I love about Apple, they're very strong on privacy, and I always appreciate that. I know there's the Apple tax, but
yeah,
I mean, it comes.
I mean, you get all these free OSs, you get all these free updates and everything. To me, I think it's worth it.
I don't buy into the idea that people have been saying for years where Apple is just way too overpriced. I think it's priced fairly. It might be a little overpriced for some, but overall I think the value is amazing. For what you're paying and what you're getting, they're pretty good about this stuff. I think we just kind of oversee all the benefits that we're getting sometimes because they're free and it's taken for granted.
Yeah. So yeah, that was our thoughts for WWDC. I know we kind of went a little long-winded there, but I don't know, it was a good conversation. We hope you guys join in and comment down below with your thoughts and opinions. What your favorite features were, what you were really looking forward to. Did what you were looking forward to appear in the keynote? I know there were a bunch of features they didn't announce that were kind of listed real quick on during the show. But I'm pretty sure we'll all get more details on that as the days go on. So again, thank you for joining us here on the Apple Pub. you know.
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, support the channel if you enjoyed the video.
Yeah.
And thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, and take care. Stay classy.